look at this pasture that we see. I brought my local co-op out here and I said, man, I've got my soil test. Here's what it says. I've got all this that I just cleared. What do I need to do? He's like, oh man, you need to come out here. You gotta hit that there with some 17, boy, and get that right. We gotta lime this and we gotta get some spray out here. Kill all this broadleaf. So we gotta spray all that right there. I was like, okay, so what about next year? Well, we'll probably have to spray at least 5 years in a row to help get all this broadleaf. No, I'm not paying you to spray my forage. This is multi-species pasture, guys, and we don't need to pour chemicals. This land has not been fertilized in 7 years. I only had to fertilize it when I first cleared it and got my first bit of grass established. The rest of it is native grasses that have grown in. We need to heal the land, not fight Mother Nature, work with Mother Nature, and the grass and the weeds are telling you what you need to do. You just gotta know how to listen, and that's what they knew how to do 150 years ago, and we don't know how to do it now because there's a pill for everything. There's no pill for everything.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Adam, and this is my wife, Leslie. We have 6 kids. For the past 10 years, we lived in a big farmhouse and homesteaded on 5 acres. Now, we're living in a 30-foot RV, traveling the nation to tell the stories of the 21st century American homesteader. A grassroots movement is happening in America. Average folks like you and me are returning to the land and rediscovering what it means to grow their own food. We are here to tell their stories. So join us on this journey. If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. In last week's episode, we got to visit DL and Mia with Reckless Love Farm. We heard how DL unknowingly returned to his roots as a sheep farmer when he discovered that his great-grandfather was also a sheep farmer. It was amazing to see the passion and care they put into every animal, from birth to harvest. Guys, you smell that? Sweet grass. Dew in the morning. Beautiful out here. I have an exciting video for you today. We are out here nestled in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Guys, we're at Stony Ridge Farmer's place. I'm excited to introduce you, so let's get started.
Adam, good to have you here, brother.
Yes.
Thanks for coming.
Super excited.
Welcome to the Stony Ridge Farm. So guys, behind us you'll see we've got 50 cows. We didn't start out with 50 cows. This is a work in progress, first generation farm. I say first generation, we don't have a second generation yet, unlike Adam has like 6 second generation people. So what we're doing here is regenerative farming. No fertilizer has been put on any of these pastures. You see how green they are right now. Just butt fertilizer, that's what I call it. Comes out of the cow's butt. Their urine and their feces is what feeds the lamb. We bring hay bales in, and you'll notice some hay bales from some of the footage today. Some of them are crusty and old. I got some free hay bales. I'll take any free carbon I can get to put on this land. And what we're on is an old tobacco farm that was basically intensively farmed for years and years and years and depleted of topsoil. So all of our topsoil is in the Cape Fear River Basin or in the Chesapeake Bay around here. Wow. And we've got to build it back. So what we're doing is building it back with this grass that you see. So I just mowed this morning. We'll move the cows, we mob the cows, we mow with the cows, and then we come back in and mow the weeds in the fall. So we've got some grass that's not quite as palatable as other grass out here for the cows. They won't eat it. So we'll go back through, we'll mow it, knock the tops out. That's our weed control. We chop the weeds down before they seed out. And slowly but surely, we've worked the weed load down on the farm while building the nutrition on the farm. So the sun is feeding the land, the sun is feeding these plants. So we've got photosynthesis at work. We've got nitrogen coming out the cow's butts. As it builds more biomass, we mow it down. That feeds the soil, provides a blanket for the soil, for drought protection, and makes everything grow. It takes about 3 years for what we mowed today to rot and turn to soil to make grass grow green. And that's what the whole goal is, green grass. Good morning, Moo-Moos. Susie. Hey, Susie Sue. Oh, you're shy today, huh?
You name your bull or no?
Yeah, his name is Donnie because he's got the Donald Trump hairpiece.
I love it. Where's Donnie? There's Donnie back there.
This is Butthead. You'll see why. Butthead likes to butt. You guys ready? So we've got two choices this morning. We can put them into this paddock or this paddock. We're putting them into this one because it has some shade trees. We have temperatures of 86 degrees today. We don't want heat stress on our animals. Okay. Now, you see what's coming out the cow's butt right there? That's liquid gold, right?
Fertilizer.
Yep. So what we're trying to do here when I first come up in the mornings is stimulate the cows, make them walk around a little bit so they poop in the pasture they're leaving, not in the pasture they're going to. So there's a science to stopping and thinking with the cows, stopping and making them poop before we move to the next pasture so they don't poop on their food.
Going to this pasture?
Going in here. Woo! Let's go, come on. It's breakfast time, kids.
So they worn this pasture out to the way that you think, the level you think it should be.
Yeah, it's a little bit overgrazed right now.
Okay.
This grass is not the most palatable. This is what I call wiregrass or crabgrassy kind of grass. It's not the most palatable. You'll see them, they're not stopping as soon as they come in. They're going to find the sweetest and the best first. So this will have 45 days of recovery. So the cows will move on to this and they'll be in here for 12 hours. Then they'll move to the next one. They'll be there for 12 hours and the next one for 12 hours. And we'll have 90 paddocks throughout the farm for the cows to graze. So that gives 45 days of rest. Imagine not mowing your yard for 45 days. How tall would it get? It's gonna grow. So that's what it's all about. They knock the tops off, they eat 1/3, leave 1/3, and trample 1/3. And then here comes Tammy. Come on, girl.
That's your guard dog.
Tammy's a guard dog, protects the babies from the coyotes. We have yet to lose a baby to predators because of Tammy. So this is a tire water tank. People are like, oh, cows are gonna die of cancer from the tire. They're not. This is a common practice to build a tire water tank. Underneath here is a water pipe and a drain. This is set, these posts are in place so that the calf doesn't get over in the water tank. We lost a calf once, so we did lose. We've lost 2 calves. We lost a calf to getting in the water tank. We got a goldfish in here. That goldfish is for water tank sanitation. Right here. Yep, so we will have no mosquito larvae whatsoever in here. That goldfish helps keep things clean. The bowling ball sits over top of the drain on this guy. So if a calf gets over in there, it kicks the bowling ball off, drains the tank, and that way the calf doesn't drown in the water.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Garage, house. What's this? What's going on?
Barn dough. So I had an idea to build a barn dominium home, and this is it's an agricultural building right now, but eventually could be our permanent home. Could. I say could because it depends on the permit process. An agricultural building in my county, you don't require a permit. So let's go inside and show you the dream. This is our timber frame outdoor porch. It just went on. There's an outdoor kitchen right over here that's going to go up very soon. We've got concrete guys coming in next week. There are trenches all around behind this. I've got to run some water pipe later today when it's about 90 degrees because that's the best time to work outside, when it's really, really hot.
How convenient.
Yep. This will be a place where we can have classes here because we want to teach other people how to graze, how to do small farms like this. This is a 150-acre farm. People think, yeah, small. What are you talking about? That is small. That's a small farm. I mean, to make a living on cattle on 150 acres, you really got to work at it. You got to eke by. I mean, this is basically a hobby in most cases. So let's go on inside.
Yeah.
So we got a toy box in here, all the farm toys.
Oh yeah.
This is going to be the great room, farm office, jam room. I play music. I play some of the music on my YouTube channel, Stony Ridge Farmer. And on this side over here, we'll have a butcher shop. I won't be doing commercial butchering, but I'll be doing catch, clean, cook kind of stuff.
That's cool.
So we'll teach you how to process hog the old-timey Appalachian way. I've got a 3 or 4 part series on that out already. Upstairs will be an apartment, about 1,400 square foot apartment, probably 2 or 3 bedrooms up there, wraparound deck on the outside. We'll do a lot of cooking shows up there. So we got an outdoor kitchen for cooking outdoors, smoking and stuff. Up here, we'll have a little Martha Stewart kind of setup.
That's cool.
This is the shop portion.
Love that Toyota.
Yeah, the Yoda, that's the Yoda corn. It's sitting up on its pedestal. It's a 88 Toyota pickup with 75,000 actual miles on it. And the beef, the farm fresh beef. So the byproduct of building soil is beef here. That's what I say. We're not trying to make beef, we're trying to make soil, and the byproduct is beef. And this is our hamburger stash for right now.
The treasure.
Yeah. So Stony Ridge. Got our own private label now, Stony Ridge ground
Beautiful.
beef. If folks want to buy beef, they can go to patreon.com/Stony Ridge Farmer, and you have to be a member of the co-op. You have to be part of this in order to get the beef, because we don't have a very large supply.
Local or non-local? Can you ship it?
I can ship it. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So we're working through shipping. We'll walk over here. I'll show you on top of the fridge here. We're working through shipping boxes. You see I've got this measured and how much I can stuff in it or whatever. So we're working through shipping boxes. I think this is from Omaha State. It's pretty tough to ship farm fresh beef to the West Coast from the East Coast. And you want to do it in the hot part of the summer either. So when most people are barbecuing. So it's a challenge. It's a logistical challenge. We're going to have to get dry ice here. I mean, we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars invested just to ship the first box of beef out.
Wow.
So that's coming soon. Hopefully late September, mid-October, when it starts to cool down a little bit and we can have a little bit less of a thawing issue. Cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
Steaks, roast, burger.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Honda's reaching out to you there. It's all right. This is a catfish pond. I built this pond myself. This was a really rocky and rough spot. I came in with an excavator and I dug it out. So it's about 15 to 18 feet deep in the middle. I built rock habitat all up underneath the water right here so the catfish would have somewhere to reproduce. We put 25 channel catfish, which are absolutely delicious, a southern delicacy, in this pond. And typically they won't reproduce unless they have good habitat, and they have been reproducing. I had an otter get in here and decimate the population. We had fish this big. Wow. It ate all those fish. Right now, I've got them trained, and they're gonna come up when I call them. Fishy, fishy, fishy!
Oh, there's one.
Fishy, fishy! There it is.
There they are. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. Those are big. Well, how big are they? 2 pounds?
Yeah, something like that.
Is this just like a supply pond?
So this pond is to catch water for flood control, and also we used to have a siphon system that came out of this pond, went down the hill. We had a ram pump, and that's how we watered the cows.
Oh,
so before I put the solar well pump in, we watered them. This is the highest point on the farm for a pond. So we wanted ponds on the highest point and subsequently down the hill. So this keeps it from flooding down that way. And then we've got another 5-acre lake project that's going to go in down below this pond.
Gotcha.
And then we've got another pond going in on the other side of the farm, and you'll see that. Where we're going now is a pasture that I've just got fenced about a month ago. The grass quality is not that good. This is going to be hit really hard with hay this winter, so we can build the soil and get better quality grass, but it's still pretty. So we're going to cruise on over here and show you what's up. So it's all about carbon, bringing carbon to your land. You'll see we've got hay bales that are up in this tall grass and weeds right now. The weeds that you see in these hay bales, growing up in between these hay bales, were the same weeds that were out here. We just mowed this, and basically what we're doing is let it grow, mow it, let that fall to the ground, feed the land. We also supplement with the hay bale. So I'll come over here and we'll set out 2 bales per day for the cows. They'll graze off what's on the ground, and then they'll eat the hay. And the hay is over here. So what we're getting here, we've got some mushrooms, we've got some fresh grass that has just started to grow. If you tip this up a little bit, what we do is just provide a diaper in this spot right here. So this is called bale grazing. So we've got 2 methods of bale grazing here on the farm. We either unroll a hay bale with a bale unroller and basically spread that roll out, or with these bales, which aren't net wrapped, they're kind of low quality hay bales, we will bale graze. So we'll set hay bales out and let the cows consume it and spread it all out on the land. They probably waste about 8% of the bale, maybe something like that, but it's not going to waste. It's turning into manure and litter to cover the grass. And the hay bales are packed with grass seed, so we don't have to buy grass seed.
So when we're talking about sustainable farming, you know, you're really talking about legacy farming. You're leaving something for the next generation. And so, you know, during this series, as we're covering different farms, this is a prime example of how to do some of that.
Yeah.
How to sow back into the land and how to leave the land better than what you got it.
That's
right?
it. That's it. It's a grand science project here on
Right.
the farm. And definitely, we're on the first generation farm. Like I said, you'll notice our fencing is a little bit different. It's all steel posts. I don't want to rebuild this when I'm 80 years old. I want this to last for my children and their grandchildren. So this is all about forethought, thinking way into the future. So people did not do that 100 years ago, 80 years ago, when they were farming this intensively in tobacco. So all the topsoil, again, is gone.
Yeah, that's hard.
It's crazy. The cows are grazing over there, and you can just reach and grab a handful of soil. So it's really, really working.
So from this to what you did over there, how many years?
4. Wow. About 4 years. Okay. So we're going to beat the snot out of this land right here this winter. I mean, this is going to be, the cows are just going to stay here for probably 2 months out of the winter. And we're just going to put manure, hay, and pick up rocks every day. The reason this farm sold for so cheap is because it was so eroded and worn out that it was just rocks. It was just all rocks, stones from this big to big as a house. And we dug out some of those stones that were, I don't know, big as a car for sure. So all down through here, what you can't see is rock after rock after rock after rock. Literally, probably 5 dump truck loads of rock. And then every year as the ground freezes and thaws, more rocks come up.
So it takes a special person to want to restore land like this. Like someone would look at this land and be like, oh, no, too much work. So why, what propelled you to get into it?
I'm a project guy. You know, I have a science degree, and I enjoy the science behind building soil. I've just got an interest got sparked in me about 15 years ago, something like that. I was living in downtown Greensboro, North Carolina, in the concrete jungle in a little 1-bedroom apartment, and I started growing a little garden. Then I bought a piece of property on 1/3 of an acre. I had an urban farm. Honeybees were a big thing to me. Honeybees is kind of what sparked the interest, and I got back into the soil, got back into growing a garden, and decided to take it to the next level and take this on, which is bigger than 5 of my old neighborhoods. So I got up here, I was like, oh, this is, ugh. So how do you eat an elephant? One spoonful at a time, right?
Okay, so from apartment to 150 acres in how many years?
I'd say from 2012 to 2023, so 10 years. Bought this land 8 years ago.
Crazy.
Yep.
Well, you're a hero, dude.
Thanks.
You're restoring the land.
I enjoy it.
Getting the information out there.
That's it.
Love
That's what it's all about. And picking up rock.
Yeah.
So this is going to be Silvopasture, guys, and you can see as the sun's coming up through here. These are all poplar trees mainly, some hickory, some oak, and this is where we'll graze the cows out in through here under the forest. When it's real hot in the summertime, it's really important to have good shady spots for your cows to graze. This is a different kind of grass totally than what we have in the pastures. It's important for us and our food to eat multiple species pasture. If you like lasagna, you can eat lasagna. It'll give your body nutrients, right? But if you just eat lasagna for the rest of your life, you're gonna be sick. If the cows just eat fescue grass, they're gonna be sick. So we do multi-species pasture. So every paddock that the cows get moved to has a different type of grass or multiple types of grass. So down here we've got some mushroom logs. We may have some shiitakes. And if we want to go fishing, we'll rock a log back and scratch through. Let's see if we got night crawlers. There's one. Big old fatties. Never starve to death when you got night crawlers and a fish pond on your farm. Check this guy out. So we'll come down here. We have a raised bed garden, and I'll come down and I'll catch these worms and I'll put them in my raised bed garden. Awesome.
That's cool.
Be free.
Everything's a piece of the puzzle, right?
Dude, it is. It takes a certain kind of mind to wrap their head around all this. So this is the Stony Ridge Falls. Believe it or not, that was here. It was naturally here. It grew into that tree. I don't know how it knew that this was Stony
lettering,
Ridge Falls.
all of it, huh?
All of it, yeah.
Wow.
Even the paint. I don't know where it came from. Native American art. This is what I call the Stony Ridge Falls. Believe it or not, I've seen water coming over this like a river. And back in the woods down here, it's really cool and humid. So after a long, hard day, you can come down here and we'll see wild turkey, squirrel, and it's just awesome, man. There's wild mushrooms up here. So certain times of the year, we get to go out and forage for wild mushrooms, and they go all the way up through here. There used to be a bridge right here that crossed over, and all this forest that you see behind you and even over here, all of this used to be in tobacco, and it had what they call nematodes in it, which made it very hard to grow tobacco down in here. In other words, it's swampy land. If you dig down 5 feet right here, the water will come up into the ground, and we'll show you a place where we did that.
So water table's super high?
Yeah, water table's super high. This is my gauge for how dry it is. I'll take you to the 2 little ponds. So we dug out some fill dirt. I stocked both these ponds with one with minnows, just to try it, just for fun, and one with crawfish.
Oh, interesting.
So these are my rain gauges. You see these 2 ponds, there's a little one here and a bigger one over there, and you can see how the banks are, typically there's water all the way up to the top of the bank, all the way up to the grass. So right now I know that it's really dry out here because this is my rain gauge, it's my water table gauge. This one gets a tiny bit of runoff here, and this one is basically self-sustained. So just the water comes up out of the ground. If we get in a pinch and we need to irrigate, we can irrigate out of each one of these ponds, and they fill themselves back up. So we can throw a pump in and irrigate these pastures if we need to. Right now, the water table is down about 18-20 inches, which is not a good thing. We need rain, but it's still super green. Everybody else's farm is super brown. We go into pasture that hasn't been fenced. It's been partially. So we're over here on a plot of land that has not been fenced and not been planted, and the cows have not grazed it yet. This is a spot that is next on the list to be fenced, but I'm trying to buy another 17 acres and square it off. So we've cleared a lot of land here, guys. And I know I hear this deforestation thing all the time. This is not the rainforest, okay? This is old cropland that has been abandoned. So we're just taking it back. Grassland sequesters more carbon than forest land and builds more topsoil. That carbon sequestration and that photosynthesis produces more oxygen than a forest. You think about it, a forest, the leaves fall off in the wintertime and they're not producing any more oxygen. The grass is still growing. It's still producing carbon. It's still getting photosynthesis. So grassland builds carbon, sequesters carbon better than forest land, and builds topsoil. That's why the Great Plains have 15-foot deep topsoil. It's grassland and it's been grazed. This is my little pawpaw grove. This might be a flop and then this might be fun. It's the time. The largest tropical fruit in North America, native to North America, is called the pawpaw. This is a grove of pawpaw trees down here on the creek. They like to grow in a moist area. So if you've ever seen raccoon poop or possum poop or even coyote poop, it'll either have pawpaw seeds in it this time of year or it'll have persimmon seeds in it. That's why persimmons are so prolific out in pastures, and we mow the snot out of them because there's always a pile of poopy with a pawpaw seed or a persimmon seed. We're gonna shake a tree and see if we get a pawpaw.
Let's do it.
All right, I see a few in there. We're gonna taste them. If they're ripe, they'll fall. If they're not, they won't. Not quite ripe. This is a pawpaw. This is a baby pawpaw right here. Little guy right there. Let's see if I can, it's gonna be super bitter, so wait for my face to change color. I'm not even gonna bite it. I know it's how bitter that's gonna be. There's a big one up here I saw. Let's see if I can shake him out.
Oh, something just fell.
Something fell. Oh, it was a little bitty baby one.
Oh. All right, climb it, Josh.
Well, they're out there, but if
I see one there.
Yeah, if they're not ripe, there's another cluster right here. It's September. Typically late August. September is when they start getting them. Nope, pawpaws aren't ripe.
No.
Total bummer, dude. But nice you know what to look for. Looks like a magnolia tree almost.
Yeah, they're pretty. So like the native
like
banana.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's like a beta carotene filled banana. So they're orange and they're mushy like a banana.
Okay.
So it's pretty much like a cantaloupe mixed with a banana. Very good for your eyes.
And I've heard people doing pawpaw projects where they're trying to restore a lot of these back to the land.
Yep. They're wherever you have pawpaws, you'll have a lot of pawpaws. So, and all you basically have to do if you want to restore it back to the land is take pawpaws from a spot and throw them out there, and they'll grow. It needs to be on a creek bank, kind of a sandy spot, or near a river or something like that. So, a moist area.
That's cool.
Around the outside perimeter of all of our fences on the farm, we have about a 12 to 16 foot swath so that trees don't fall on the fence. And every once in a while we'll still have a tree fall on the fence, but we can get through here and you'll notice everything is groomed and mowed. It's a huge undertaking to keep all this up, and probably every 2 or 3 weeks I come down through here and I mow everything. There's a few interesting things we'll pass along the trail and I'll show you. This little bean is wisteria.
Okay.
Inside this bean should be like white fuzzies. Yep. So when this matures, these little white fuzzies will come out. That's wisteria.
That's cool.
Not cool to have on your place. It'll take over. It'll grow all over everywhere. You see
The
this
vine.
We're passing this vine right here. This is wild grapes. We'll see some honeybees here. So these are asters. And there's some honeybees flying around. Yep. It's also called yellow stickweed. I don't know if you guys know it or not, but you can take a picture with your iPhone, hit the information button, and it'll tell you all sorts of information about whatever it is you're passing. So if you see a beautiful flower or a tree and you're curious about it, take a picture. It'll have a little eye with a star. Tap that and you can tell what plant that is. Interesting. I want to know about all the flora and fauna that's on the farm. We have foxes, coyotes, groundhogs, minks, weasels, red-tailed hawks, and every species that we allow to stay on our farm helps support 8 more species. So believe it or not, clearing the land and bringing the cows to the land has increased the deer population. It's increased the groundhog population, which isn't too good. It's increased the fox, the coyote, everything. And we leave them alone. We don't kill off things. We leave them alone. Even though the foxes got in my hen house, and we'll see the chickens here in a minute, I leave the foxes alone because if the foxes are here, the groundhogs could overpopulate if we didn't have the foxes. So we need foxes, we need predators, we need keystone species. So for every species you can get on your farm, it will help support 8 more species.
For people that don't know, you call these pasture sanitizers. Why do you say that?
So these are our pasture sanitizing chickens. They go in behind the cows, and the cows were over here 6 days ago. Do you see a manure pat anywhere?
I don't.
Do you remember how much manure was all over the other pasture?
Yeah.
There's no manure pats around.
It's
There's
crazy.
one little one right there. So the chickens go through, scratch through the manure, and you'll see, and I'm gonna release them here in a second. They scratch through the manure pats, spread them out, helps the land fertility, and the chicken poop also helps the land fertility, and the byproduct is eggs. These are all laying chickens. This is a automatic door. This automatic door opens at 9 a.m. and closes 15 minutes after dark. I've got a nail in there that I use because you were coming today. I wanted to show releasing the chickens, so we put that nail there. That way the door this morning hit the nail and wouldn't open.
They're teasing them in there, man.
That's it, yeah. So take our nail, put it there, and let the girls out. Come on, ladies. Pretty birds. Yeah, it's breakfast time. We better back up. There we go. These are white leghorns. And
Beautiful.
Here comes, come on, here comes the Rhode Island Reds.
That's some clean chickens, man.
Yes, sir.
Never seen a chicken that white.
Yeah, what we do for the chickens to keep them extra white is that we spray them down with a bleach solution, because we need chemicals, right?
Exactly.
I'll tell you what happened. Look at this pasture that we see. I brought my local co-op out here and I said, man, I've got my soil test. Here's what it says. I've got all this that I just cleared. what do I need to do? He's like, oh man, you need to come out here. You got to hit that there with some 17, boy, and get that right. We got to lime this, and we got to get some spray out here. Kill all this broadleaf. So we got to spray all that right there. And once we get it sprayed, boy, this place will really take off. I was like, okay, so what about next year? Well, we'll probably have to spray at least 5 years in a row to help get all this broadleaf. No, I'm not paying you to spray my forage. This is multi-species pasture, guys, and we don't need to pour chemicals. This land has not been fertilized in 7 years. I only had to fertilize it when I first cleared it and got my first bit of grass established. The rest of it is native grasses that have grown in. We need to heal the land, not fight Mother Nature, work with Mother Nature, and the grass and the weeds are telling you what you need to do. You just got to know how to listen, and that's what they knew how to do 150 years ago, and we don't know how to do it now because there's a pill for everything. There's no pill for everything. I watched a diabetic commercial the other day. Take this pill, and I watched this big old voluptuous lady so happy because her sugar was low. Stop eating sugar. Just stop eating sugar, guys. I'm a registered nurse. Stop eating sugar. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, that is what it's all about, and we need teachers to tell us because that's been lost over the generation. But they knew how to do it 100 years ago.
Yeah.
We lost that information. Now we got to dig it back up and figure out how to do this again because the teachers that are out there are teaching us the wrong thing.
They are.
And so we need teachers that are going to teach how to steward the land properly, how to take care of it, how to know what the weeds are telling you. All of that stuff is super valuable information that needs to be handed down to the next generation.
I agree with you totally, and I think that the food that we see in the grocery store is absolute garbage. What's being pawned off as food is absolute garbage. You've got local farmers that process their own beef that are being arrested and fined for selling local and processing their own meat because it's not USDA inspected. Yet you pick up a box of crackers in the grocery store and it has schmabba-dabba flavor and
Totally okay,
whatever preservative, yellow number 5 or orange 14 or whatever. It has all this stuff in it, guys. Look for whole and real and local food. If you have allergies, local food, not just local honey, local food, local beef. The cows are eating the thing that you're allergic to. If you eat the beef that comes from that cow, it can definitely help your allergies.
Yeah.
So I hear. So guys, there's just so much to it. Buy local, eat local, and take some food responsibility.
That's right.
Have you ever thought about this? Why is it somebody else's responsibility to feed me?
We've lost control.
Yeah.
And so when you lose control of your food system, this is what happens. People then tell you what you need to eat. Half of the world doesn't know where a chicken egg comes from, probably. I mean, that might be exaggerative, but there's people out there that don't know where an egg comes from.
Right.
And so when we lose control of that, this is the result that we get. So we got to take back control.
Losing touch with reality, the seasonal reality. Why do you need to eat strawberries in December? I mean, really?
Yeah.
Do we need to eat strawberries in December? We're getting strawberries from Argentina so that mom can have strawberry shortcake for Christmas. I mean, guys, buy local, eat local, learn how to preserve, learn how to take care of yourself, learn how to feed yourself, because one day there may not be. And I'm not one of those guys. I'm not tinfoil hat on me right now, but one day you may have to do that, and we may have to get back to the old ways.
Yeah. So Josh, thank you so much.
Adam.
Stony Ridge Farmer, guys, if you're not subscribed to his channel, go check him out. Leave links in the description below. This has been a blessing. Awesome stuff that you're doing here, taking care of the land, regenerating what was lost, bringing it back. This is amazing. So check his channel out, guys.
Thanks for coming, man. Thanks for spreading this message. It's awesome.
Thanks for having us out.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Yeah.
I know.